do you stream?
I've been getting more into it. I used to do it a lot, but I kind of had a break with university kind of stuff. But I'll be starting to get back into it, so I'll be popping up more and more.
Not a problem. So you can always check out postage streaming on this channel, which is these terrible gamers. And you can also catch VODs casted by myself and other members of QED on the QED YouTube, QED StarCraft 2. Yeah, YouTube /QED StarCraft 2, QED all in caps. And we also have a Facebook and a Twitter. The Twitter is at clan, capital C, underscore QED, all capitals. And the Facebook is just clan QED. If you're a member of QED and you're watching this and aren't following either of those, you should be. It'll let you know when clan tournaments such as this one is on, and is worth definitely seeing, definitely following to keep up to date with it. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know this was on. We do have a Skype chat, obviously, for our clan, but there are some members that might miss that. And by following the Twitter,
Alrighty.
you can keep abreast of what's going on.
Alrighty, well, let's get this going.
I believe we're all ready now.
Let's get it on.
So we head into this map, ESV Mausoleum, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm going to run with that, I think. And it'll be Niceliquid from mGG versus QED.Bloodmyst.
Alright.
And as we head into this map, we have the blue Terran, QED.Bloodmyst, spawning on the bottom right.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Terran for mGG.Niceliquid. So guys, this could be it. This is match point for QED if they're able to win this. But however, I don't think it's beyond the reach of Niceliquid to make a bit of a comeback here. And we'll have to see how this goes.
Not at all. As I said, I think Liquid has played on this map in their practices, and that's where QED should probably fix for their next practice session, is to actually try a couple of these maps, which we have missed out and will have to rectify in the future training sessions for sure. Because as we go around this map, we can see that it is a 1v1 map, so they do know where each other are being spawned. And the natural is like most naturals. Is there no ramp? It's all flat, isn't it, the natural?
No, there's a ramp from the main to the natural, but then it's pretty much flat ground from there to the opponent's base.
So it's very Cloud Kingdom-esque, the natural,
definitely.
And you'll notice that most of all the other bases aren't that easily defended. A decent choke point for Terrans can be made between the second and the third, but you still have that second ramp to watch out for. So all expansions after that are pretty exposed.
Yeah, in relation to TVT, this map kind of favours a mech-heavy playstyle, just in relation to like these platforms and just being able to siege up tanks and make nice kind of pushes and tank lines. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird map when you're first looking at it, but it does provide quite entertaining games. I remember there was a base race on this map. Oh, when was that? That would have been a while ago, but maybe a week or so ago. I can't remember, in the GSL. It might have even been the Code A, but yeah, the map has its quirks in how it works.
Of course, these platforms would be great places to siege up tanks, particularly because you can siege them up around where that watchtower is and get vision of all that lower ground spaced around.
Yeah, and it looks like Bloodmyst actually wants to go for an early command center. Unfortunately, they get scouted. But he's going to need to...
But Liquid's doing the same, so... They're both very, very similar builds, not deviating too much. Liquid's obviously got a few more supply out than Bloodmyst, but not by much. It's being replaced as we speak. They're evening up again, so not much difference there.
Yep, so what I like to see, and there we go, there's the first kind of deviation, the gas coming down for Bloodmyst. I do like watching mirror matchups and watching when people do the same kind of build order, because I like to see like the little variances and then other things of that nature, like where they differ and why they do that.
Well, Bloodmyst has gone for an early gas, but has only got one, and in response, Niceliquid has got two, and the rest of the build is pretty much identical. And Bloodmyst throwing out a bit of friendly BM there. I'm not sure it's BM. I think it's referring to a Reddit post, which I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to find and link to everyone if they wish to see it. But yeah,
Was that
definitely
the Queen?
a bit of friendly banter. Oh yes, I vaguely remember seeing that one. I think it was posted by Gosu T-Gun, wasn't it?
Might have been. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it was. It was. Alright. So we're seeing double gas from Niceliquid compared to the singular for Bloodmyst. So he'll probably be looking to tech up and maybe throw down some add-ons and things like that. Nothing set in stone yet. No factor or anything's come down, so we'll have to see what's in his playbook.
Yeah, so we can see he's got that combat shield up first instead of stim, which is an interesting opening from Bloodmyst, going to combat shields instead of stim. I'm not 100% sure why. I would have thought that the combat shield would have been better for against Zerg than TVT, but I'm not exactly fully up on the TVT metagame, as I am only a gold Protoss, but I would have thought that stim would have been better in TVT than combat shields, but that's the way Bloodmyst is headed in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so both players are not getting supply blocked, which has been a bit of a problem for some players tonight. But yeah, it's nice to see a smooth flowing game at the moment with no supply blockages. So it looks like both players are actually kind of mimicking each other, but it looks like Bloodmyst is throwing down that bunker as he might have been anticipating a bit of early pressure.
Yeah, I'd say he was expecting that something might come. As he's not used to this map, he knows that Liquid's obviously played this map a bit as it was picked. People in the chat are saying that combat shield is greater than stim. I can see where it could be. Extra health does come handy, but the way it's worked, he will get his stim slightly after Liquid's, and they'll both do pretty much the same upgrades. As the early tech lab from Bloodmyst nailed into research that combat shields earlier, but in reply, Liquid dropped a double tech lab at a later date, and everything was finished about even. So far, it's still pretty much even for this matchup.
Yeah, with the reactor now being thrown down on the factory, he'll be able to swap that over with the starport, and that's when stim starts to come into its own, when you can combine it with medevacs. So looks like both players are actually doing the same thing again.
The only difference at the moment is Niceliquid was able to start his upgrade earlier than Bloodmyst. Bloodmyst has not started the upgrade yet, but he has got the engineering bay down.
Bloodmyst taking the early...
Two more racks from Bloodmyst.
Early SCV lead here, but he is behind on gas as Niceliquid's taken the one on his natural, and he's been able to mine about 200 gas from that whilst it's been operational.
So if Bloodmyst delaying this upgrade, whether he's forgotten to build it or whether it's just not in his build as of yet, it's going to be the major difference between the two of them at the moment. As the upgrade advantage will just continue to get higher for Liquid unless the double engineering bay in return from Bloodmyst.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to looking at throwing down that second gas, and there we go. There goes the build command on it, just to try and catch up in relation to how kind of far behind he is in overall gas mined. And it looks like Niceliquid's even going to make a little bit of a push here with his Marines.
Yeah, I think Niceliquid's had enough time spent being passive, and now wants to find out what is going on with Bloodmyst and how his defense looks. But Bloodmyst is still happy being passive. Nope, they're both going to push out around the same time. These builds are almost identical. Liquid is starting to get that advantage now by having his siege tank down, and they're going to meet in the middle. Oh, beautiful snipes there from Liquid.
Oh, but that's not a good position to be in.
No, that actually worked out worse for Liquid in the end. It looked like he had the advantage taking out those medivacs first, but the Mist just had too many units, and they were firing, focus firing a lot better.
Yeah, no, it looks like Liquid's actually going to be swapping into siege tank play from here. Both players actually doing the same thing once again. Bloodmyst still waiting to research his siege tech, which I'm sure will be on its way soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to leave that out too long. He has got +1 nearly finished now, so yet again, all the upgrades are nearly even. Liquid has started that plus level 1 armor, so that will finish before Bloodmyst does. And he also has siege up before Bloodmyst, but doesn't have the siege tank count yet to really push across the map with them.
Yeah, no, and he's throwing down. Ooh, there we go. Both players throwing down a third base as well.
Yeah, it's very, very identical builds here. Scarily identical, really. It's going to come down to little micro situations like before, where Liquid thought he had the advantage taking out those medivacs, but the time he spent taking out them meant he lost way too many forces and was greatly outnumbered by Bloodmyst's ground forces.
Oh, and a bit of a drop here in the main, so Bloodmyst able to pull all of his SCVs, and he'll need to make sure he doesn't lose this medevac, but unfortunately due to the SimCity Bloodmyst space, he's not able to get those Marines there in time, and it looks like he's going to do a bit of a doom drop of his own in the split.
He's actually splitting the drop to try and find out if he can keep track of that medivac. This is very bold from Bloodmyst. He's actually probably might even lose his medivac if he's not careful. I think he will lose it. He will lose the medivac. He won't lose the medivac, but he will lose some units. And his drop on the other side of the map is heading across, and will spot that third going down.
No units being pulled in response here for Liquid, so he's probably going to end up using or losing quite a few. Oh, he's going to place them down on the siege tank. Nice job there.
Very nice from Bloodmyst. He's going to get rid of that siege tank before any... He's now going to attempt to run. The stim units will not catch him, and that medivac will come out with a nice little victory.
Transfer over to the third of Liquid.
This medivac is coming in for another drop, but there's missile turrets up there now, which may take out that medivac before anything drops out of it, and it does.
Nice.
A whole medivac worth of units lost. Bloodmyst now, I think, is about even in upgrades. He should be even in upgrades now with that shield +1 finishing. And his armies are very, very similar. Very, very similar. Bloodmyst is getting a slight advantage now in the supply, but he is not mining from his third yet, whereas Niceliquid is already mining from his third. He's getting that nice and saturated slowly but surely.
Yeah, it looks like he's morphed it into a planetary fortress, which probably will end up helping him because he's quite far ahead in that harvester's count. And because it takes, I think it was, I remember hearing it on a stream the other day, I think it's 4 harvesters per mule, or 4 or 8 harvesters, can't remember which one. Sacrificing a mule every however many seconds in order just to have that planetary fortress is probably going to work out better for him in this situation with the harvester count being as it is.
As it stands though, Bloodmyst is moving across the map. He's going to probably siege up those tanks shortly. I don't know if he plans on trying to take out that third. He probably has enough Marines that with a quick stim he could do it.
Oh wow, if you look in the unit tab, he's got a full 51 more Marines than Liquid does. So that'll explain where all the supply is. Oh, he's got considerably more. And that, most of that I assume would be tied up in Marauders.
Liquid's going to come in here and try and defend this. He will lose a planetary, and he won't even get to snipe that one siege tank. This is not looking good for Liquid at all. Bloodmyst is playing this very, very nicely. He's managed to deny the third while getting his own third up. This Marauder force is trying to sneak around, but Bloodmyst has just managed to macro up quite nicely. And though he was behind on the SCV count, the mules have caught him up. He's got that third running and is now caught up massively by getting that nice snipe on the third.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how successful this little roving pack of Marauders is going to be in relation to how many tanks and stuff there are. He's got quite a considerable force here waiting at the base of his natural, so he can probably even just kill that outright. Oh,
but he will lose his third before he responds. And lose his own bunch of SCVs, which is not nice at all. Definitely a good trade there from Liquid. He's managed to get his own back with that one, but his forces are split. It might be wise for Bloodmyst to try and push or try and isolate this force now that's roaming around and get the advantage that way.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do just that now. Liquid actually taking the supply lead after killing off all those SCVs. But it looks like all those tanks are just sieged up nicely there.
Oh, he will lose one. Tanks. No, he loses 2 tanks, but in return he will be able to go straight into the base of Liquid and definitely target fire everything down here nice and quickly. Liquid has got those Marauders stimming as fast as they can back to base, but they're going to be so low health by the time they get there.
That's not where you want your SCVs, guys. So a bunch of those melting for Liquid there. Little pun. And he's going to be able to take down the natural, looks like.
No, he will not. He will actually end up die. That force will just fall. No, maybe he's got the medivacs are healing as quick as possible, and they will fall in the end. And those medivacs need to get out of there now.
Oh,
There's a nice tank out now set up for nice.
He's lost all those medivacs, so that was a bit of an unnecessary.
Oh, that was all that nice work from Bloodmyst has just been lost in that by losing those medivacs and letting those units die without a purpose really. And with Liquid having such a nice tank line being set up now, Bloodmyst is going to have a hard time pushing back into this in too much of a hurry. But he does have a very large force of Marines heading across the map. Very large force of Marines.
Yeah,
and Liquid falling down, and mainly in medivac count. He's got no medivacs. He can stim these units as much as he wants, but he's got 2 medivacs now. They're coming in a bit late, but they're getting there.
Yeah, you bring up an important point that even though Liquid does have quite a lot of supply still in army, most of it's just going to be one-shotted by these Marines and tanks of Bloodmyst. Oh, there we go.
Oh, not a nice sight at all for Liquid to see his Marauders and Marines just blow up like that. Bloodmyst is going to keep the pressure on here. He's actually going to, in return, Doom drop the main. But these Marines do sense it coming, and they're going to go back up onto the high ground to try and defend this. But I just don't think they will be able to. This tank here they're going to try and snipe the tank down. And they do get the tank up there, so now these units have got free reign up here, while at the same time the siege tank line is at the front of Niceliquid's base.
Yeah, no, not a good thing here. Not a good position to be in for Niceliquid as he's rebuilding a planetary fortress as he reestablishes his third, and Bloodmyst easily just takes his fourth, very comfortable at the moment.
Yes, a ninja's fourth at that too, just to play it safe.
And look at the re-rally of troops over the map now, just the reinforcements coming in, producing Marines 12 at a time. Yeah, this is macro at its best, guys. Look how low their money is. This is how you need to play Terran.
Yes, both players are showing their ability to macro. Even Liquid in a position where he's on the disadvantage, he's still making sure he keeps on top of that macro. Definitely well done for a platinum level player. Bloodmyst's macro slipping slightly, it's getting a bit high, but he's still managing to keep the production going. He's not falling behind. Every production building he has is building, except for the factory, but he's running a mech. I think he has got the siege tanks out now, so doesn't need any more.
Unfortunately, he misses the double drop that's coming from Liquid, but Liquid must... Yeah, he remembers that those missile turrets are there, so he's going to try and... Oh, there goes the planetary fortress without being repaired. Another blow to Liquid's hopes.
Oh, definitely does not look good for Liquid. This drop will get into the main. They will try and snipe probably those missile towers and then sneak into the main, but he won't have enough to defend at home. Bloodmyst is just trying to strangle Liquid out of the game here.
Yeah, no, definitely. 13 Marines at a time, and it looks like Liquid's actually going to try and run his force through the natural, which might not be a good idea because Bloodmyst is just going to be able to stim into these medevacs. Oh. He just needs to focus up at home.
They're all small victories for Liquid now.
Yeah. He might have even been able to find this ninja base over here, the fourth for Bloodmyst, so Bloodmyst will need to lift that up and get rid of that. Oh, or maybe not. Yeah, and it looks like Bloodmyst is about to stim and take out this whole group.
Oh, that medivac might just escape. Oh.
Alright, so Bloodmyst right now should
Liquid can't do much at all.
On the sensor tower goes up for Bloodmyst, then Mana sensor tower just to see what's happening inside of his own base. And Bloodmyst, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's mana, he's just trying to keep control of what's going on. He doesn't know what Niceliquid is doing. He knows he's ahead and he's going to stim in and out and try and take out those tanks.
Yeah, something
no,
really,
he's going to fall back.
Yeah, something really important to understand here is that... Oh, that's a bit loud. Is that Liquid is actually mined out of both bases now. He has no income in minerals. So he can't re-establish this third because Bloodmyst at the moment is just throwing away free supply, 15 Marines at a time style, and yeah, not much he can do. Spends his last 200 minerals on 4 more Marines as Bloodmyst begins 3-2.
Yes, no, it's definitely a matter of an end game situation for Niceliquid now. He's put up a good fight, but unfortunately, Bloodmyst has just been able to out micro. Really, it wasn't a macro situation. Liquid was ahead of the macro for quite some time there, but he just didn't have enough units out to defend when Bloodmyst came a knocking. Bloodmyst went for more units than SEVs, and Liquid went the opposite direction.
Yeah, well, if he's not careful, he's actually going to end up and he loses that third base, and the medevac is going to come in to get these troops out of here. Oh, but there we go, the Doom Drop is going to take out all the production.
Yeah, there's not going to be much left now of Niceliquid. He's trying his hardest, but he's mining again, but he's not going to have any production to actually build anything out of that mining base.
Looks like he's going to go for some sort of base trade here, just to try and force some outcome out of this.
Well, I don't think he realises Bloodmyst has that fourth up. Even though Bloodmyst is hardly mining combat, he does have it up at least. He presumes that Bloodmyst is still stuck on 2 like him after isolating that third, and hopes that he has enough to push through. It looks like it will be a GG from Liquid soon. The supply for Bloodmyst is getting higher. Those tanks fell at the front of his base. It is a lot of units coming around the side here. I think that all the SCVs are being pulled. There's going to be an SCV all-in pull, and barracks being floated over. Liquid's clutching at straws here to try and get the win, and there's not even a